Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm the lead beat writer for ASU on SI. And we're doing something a little different today. I'm joined by Connor Moreno, the lead beat writer for UCLA Bruins on SI. And we are going to do a joint episode today discussing the recently announced Arizona State and UCLA men's basketball series. And Connor, uh, how's it going today?
Going pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on. Glad that we were able to kind of reunite a little bit and talk some hoops.
Yeah, of course, man. So, for a little background between us, we both got on the SI network as lead beat writers around the same time. Both met each other through the media at Phoenix Suns, so we both have a background in basketball. So, this is going to be a really exciting episode to talk about the programs of the two teams that we're covering. Obviously, one of them is quite a bit more prestigious than the other one, but they're former conference rivals. They played a lot of great classic games in recent seasons, so uh, should be a fun episode to talk about. So let's just get into talking about the background between the two programs, at least head to head. So I believe UCLA leads the all-time series 69-25. I believe so. It's been a pretty lopsided series historically, but as we all know, UCLA is a blue blood program. They consistently have absolutely stacked rosters, and Arizona State just hasn't been that. But as we look into recent seasons, the Sun Devils have been playing them more, or had been playing them more even. I suppose they even got that victory in the 2023-24 season, or the season before, when UCLA was ranked in the top five. Uh, so there's been a little bit more of even, I guess, I don't really know how to put it, but um, so that might make the future matchups a little more exciting. But what can you tell us about the UCLA squad heading into the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, it's pretty cool that even after the Pac-12 kind of fell out, that teams are still kind of making an effort to recapture these historic matchups because not only is it important for the team to keep on this continuity, but fans really like these nostalgic matchups. And I mean, the Bruins and ASU have been matching up for a very long time, and it's kind of a staple in both programs' history. So yeah, it's very important for the teams to keep on playing their opponents in these non-conference schedules. And yeah, for UCLA, I mean, last season they won, I think it was like 23 games or something like that, and they lost in the second round of March Madness to Tennessee. But over the offseason, they completely, I wouldn't say completely, but they really rehauled their roster through the transfer portal. Obviously, most notably, they brought in Donovan Dent, former New Mexico guard. He was one of, if not the best player on the transfer portal. And so they brought him in. He's bringing an incredible, dynamic playmaking ability. And then they also have a few returners. You have Tyler Bilodeau. You have Sky Clark. You have Eric Daly. They provide some continuity. You have Trent Perry off the bench. And another transfer portal addition that they brought in was center. Hold up. It was center. Apologies. Just lost something. Center Xavier Booker. Sorry about that. From Michigan State. He is providing a pretty different look for UCLA. They're kind of running a little bit of a too big, but even Xavier Booker is kind of undersized, so I think defensively that allows them to be a bit more dynamic. And yeah, they're UCLA. I think they're better than last season, of course, and I think they're honestly primed for a run to the Final Four.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of research on UCLA as of late, and all I could say is that Mick Cronin is a great coach for that program. I know a lot of UCLA fans have criticized him, but it feels like he's been the coach in the last 20 years that has really gotten the most out of the program and the resources that they have. He's been very strong when it comes to player development. We see like Sky Clark, he struggled a little bit at the two stops he made before UCLA, but he really had a strong year last year. You look at like respected basketball analysts such as John Rothstein. I believe he has UCLA number seven in his top 45 right now. So there's a lot of hype going into the Bruins with a couple months to go before the start of the season. But but I believe that this will be a good test for both teams. The Sun Devils obviously might not have the best basketball team heading into 2025-26, at least on paper. But Bobby Hurley is trying something new, and that has to be respected, at least in my opinion. Last year, he went with a pretty thin freshman heavy roster, leaned really into the talent rather than the fit. He really hasn't prioritized getting a quote unquote pure point guard in recent seasons, and a lot of those seasons have reflected on that. And he went and got Mo Odom from the transfer portal, Pepperdine transfer. Last season, he averaged 7 assists a game. He knocked down 38% of his 3 point looks, so he might bring a little bit of a stabilizing factor to the offense. He really went heavy when it came to targeting overseas players. Uh, just a few of them include uh, like Santiago Toure. Uh, you have my bad. I'm still trying to get to know the roster myself. Uh, you have dynamic shot makers like a Dante Holloman that came in from uh, Georgia State, Georgia Southern. He averaged 17 a game last year, led that conference in scoring. Marcus Adams Jr., former four-star uh, swing forward, that is a really dynamic scorer. He averaged 16 a game last season at Cal State Northridge. He knocked down 39% of his 3 point looks. So you see a little bit of a trend with Hurley's roster building, very heavily leaning into the 3 point shooting, the floor spacing, the versatility, more veteran laden roster than previous seasons. So I'm not going to say that his team is going to be a world beating team this year, but he's obviously not shying away from scheduling challenging opponents, so it feels like he feels confident in his roster. Arizona State's already scheduled Oklahoma, Oregon State, Gonzaga. They're playing Texas in the Maui Invitational on top of UCLA, so it's obvious that there is a level of confidence, like I said there. And uh, so we'll see what happens with the matchup. It's going to be a very exciting one in Tempe. The crowd should be electric. As we saw a couple seasons ago, there was a capacity crowd for the ASU UCLA game, and that ended up being a very, very entertaining one. But Connor, what do you think this means for the future of both programs? The fact that they're going out of their way to schedule each other.
Yeah, as I kind of said before, I think it's kind of maintaining this stabilization, especially in this era of college athletics where you have conference realignment, you have a whole bunch of turnover on rosters through the transfer portal. I feel like programs are unconsciously trying to keep a steady routine. I guess obviously the Pac-12 fell out, so scheduling former Pac-12 rivals like UCLA already has a home and home with Cal, who was another a Pac-12 opponent for many years. So, I mean, and honestly, as you said, this is kind of what these non-conference schedules are about. It's kind of a litmus test for a whole bunch of teams. Obviously, UCLA is going to be favored, but I mean, Arizona State has played them pretty well in recent seasons. So, not only do you have a rivalry like that, but you're also testing the waters and testing if your team is actually made correctly to go into conference play like that. So, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to the matchups. If I'm still in Phoenix, I'm looking forward to going to Tempe next year and maybe sitting next to you for that matchup or something like that, just so we can kind of rekindle some of that little relationship we had in Phoenix Suns. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be great for both teams, I think, especially for the fans. I think that's what it's all about. It's for the fans for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we both reiterated this is very much a litmus test for both programs. Obviously, the Big 12 is considered by many to be the best basketball conference in Division One, especially in this season in particular. You have programs like Houston, you have Baylor, you have Texas Tech, you have Arizona, who reloaded with an incredible freshman recruiting class. You have even some teams that are sleepers, such as like a West Virginia. Very, very strong collection of programs in the Big 12 and in the Big 10 as well. You have Purdue, you have Indiana, you have USC. They have potential to bounce back. You have Michigan State, Michigan. There's there's no shortage of strong programs in both conferences, and the fact that you get to play an old Pac-12 rival in preparation for that, I feel like is a pretty massive deal. And there's always a chance that they extend the relationship in non-conference play beyond next season. You can never rule that out. I feel like it's always going to be on the table. Once you're tied together, it's something that's pretty simple to figure out if you have the motivation to do so. So I'm very excited to see what the future of Arizona State and UCLA as a matchup uh, holds. And I feel like we covered most of the bases today, and it's been a great episode. Uh, Love the insight, Connor. Thank you so much for joining me today. And that's really all I have, unless you have something else to add.
No, yeah, thanks for having me. It was really fun doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll both be posting this on our YouTube channels tomorrow morning, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled stuff after that. So thank you for all the support, and I will see you tomorrow, ASU fans.